can't see each other, and they have to just talk and see if they fall in love,
Mm-hmm.
At what age would a woman watch that show and say, these people are delusional?
Yeah. Keep thinking. Keep running the scenarios through. I mean, there might be one or two, amongst millions, but in general, that show stay very popular with them. But, we laugh and everything. I know we're laughing and all that, but we're laughing because we're seeing the shambles of men not leading their households. That's why that is so hilarious, because it's not supposed to be that a woman's out there on her own, with her own agency, figuring it's not designed. It's just not designed that way. A woman needs to be led, and she wants to be led. That's just the bottom line. And there's a lot of resistance on both sides there for various reasons. And that's why it's so funny. It's just what God has going on right now.
So welcome, JG. In order to participate in what's going on, would you like to read Philippians 2:5-11 for us? Got to turn your mic on for us to hear you.
Maybe God's answering my prayers. Nothing malicious, like when one dad prays that the other team gets rained out, instead of his kid's team.
Good. JG.
Yeah, I kind of figured it out. I think it's nothing personal. It's just even with these online things that we have going on, I just enjoy myself, and I feel more useful, and that I get more when I'm in a room with people that act like they're really in a real physical room and show the same kind of respect you would get and receive in a real physical sitting. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. So, Eon Monk, this is a very important comment, because remember, there's a bunch of Christian boys out there who say that when every knee bows and every tongue confesses Jesus is Lord, they won't mean it. It'll be something weird going on, because they themselves mean it, but when every knee bows, it won't mean anything. It'll just be what? Theater? And they can go back to being their own self-righteous self-important self after they bow. How long will the bowing take, and how long will the confession take? I got an appointment here, so let's get this over with. Jesus is Lord. Okay, are we done?
You said that they think it's theater?
I'm guessing.
Isn't that what the universalist perspective is? Is that it's theater?
I don't know. I'm guessing, because I've been told by many Christian boys.
The universalist perspective is theater.
I've been told by many Christian boys that when they bow, when every knee bows and every tongue confesses, that it will not change a thing in them, because they're on their way to hell. So why the bowing? It must be.
You tried to make an example of them thinking it's theater when you think the whole thing is theater.
Does your brain work right?
That's what I'm challenging your brain. You think the whole thing is theater, and then you're saying the Christian might think it's a theater in this situation.
All right, explain it to me then. Why would the Christian boys?
How could it be a
I-
problem if the Christian went left or right, up or down, thought it was
Explain this
real
to
or a
me.
theater from the universalist perspective? Because they're not being
What's
they're
going
not
on?
controlling it, right? If God's doing
What's
it all.
going on in the minds of millions of people if they bow and it doesn't save them? It has no change in them. If they bow and confess Jesus is Lord, but nothing changes, they're on their way to hell. What, 10 minutes later? The bowing and the confessing means nothing to them according to the free will scenario.
Wow, that's true, Ace. Never saw that.
Explain what's going on in their minds. Are they pretending? Or is God holding a gun to their head and they're saying, okay, let's get this over with? Is there no change at all in the whole universe because the universe is now bowing and confessing Jesus is Lord and nothing has changed? They're all just still sinners, just bowing out of hypocrisy, showmanship, what?
That's such a
From
great question.
From
Wow.
the universalist perspective, what would be the problem with any of those scenarios? What would be the
That's
actual
just-
problem?
No,
You're
really,
answering
can
a
you
question
answer
with
that?
you're answering a question with a diverting question.
Yeah.
The question is, if
Yeah.
every knee bows, whether or not they mean it or not, whether I got that. I'm saying from the universalist perspective, how is any way that you can fashion a problem? Every way.
JG,
Another question. Fudge.
JG, is it a gotcha moment? Like God saying, I finally got you to confess, and now you're tossed off. You're out of here, pal.
What I'm trying to point out is from the universalist perspective.
I would like to know your answer.
Yeah, I got the answer from the
Not
universalist
from anyone's perspective, from JG's perspective. How do you answer that to people when they ask you these things?
that every knee will bow. Just give me the question clearly and I'll.
All right. The question is, when they're bowing and confessing Jesus is Lord, what's going on in them if the bowing and the confessing mean nothing because they're on the way to hell just as soon as this bowing and confessing is over? What's going on in their mind? Are they still?
So you're asking what's going on in somebody's mind that I don't know? That's the question?
That's right. Because
Okay, great question. Do you want to do it? Do you want to do a good question now? Not asking me what some random
You're
person I
not
don't know what's
answering
going
the
on in their
question.
mind? You
You're
want to
not
ask me a
answering
real
the question.
Wow.
So the question is what is some random person doing that's not named or known when the knee is bowing? That's your question?
The whole universe will be
Oh,
bowing.
the whole universe. You want to know what the whole universe is thinking? That's your question?
I know what they're thinking because
You know the answer to your own question about what everyone's thinking. Go ahead then.
All right, here's the deal. Do you see the words there, for the glory of God the Father? I heard you sigh.
The universalist perspective says whatever the people do, they are meant to do. They are being forced to do that. There is no problem.
For the glory of God the Father. So here is the paragraph.
Point the finger at a Christian saying you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, but I want to complain about it.
For let this disposition be in you for the glory of God the Father.
Still can't figure this out.
Which is in Christ Jesus also for the glory of God the Father. Who, being inherently in the form of God, deems it not to be pillaging with God for the glory of God the Father, nevertheless empties himself for the glory of God the Father, taking the form of a slave for the glory of God the Father, coming to be in the likeness of humanity for the glory of God the Father, and being found in fashion as a human for the glory of God the Father, he humbles himself, becoming obedient unto death for the glory of God the Father, even the death of the cross for the glory of God the Father. Wherefore also God highly exalts him for the glory of God the Father, and graces him for the glory of God the Father with the name that is above every name for the glory of God the Father, that in the name of Jesus every knee should be bowing for the glory of God the Father, celestial, terrestrial, and subterranean, for the glory of God the Father, and every tongue should be acclaiming that Jesus Christ is Lord for the glory of God the Father.
Goosebumps again. Goosebumps again. Man. Whew. I'm going to take a picture of this hair standing on its end and send it to you, Ace. Man. That's powerful. Beautiful. That's love. That's strong. That's tough and comforting.
That's vision.
I feel like that Coca-Cola bottle is just sparkling, shiny, not one fingerprint smudge on it. I know other people have to touch it, but just for a moment here, look at that thing.
So what we have, boys and girls, with Philippians 2, 5 through 11 is affectionately called, by me anyway, an executive summary of the story of the universe.
Wow.
So it lays out the whole plan in small detail, not all the details, just small details, to get to the point. Here's the deal, and here's where we're going.
Man, that's great. I've never looked at it like this, really. This would help in so many life situations. When so many feelings come around, problems, agitations.
So the word let, the second word here for let, this would not be a free will argument, let. This is more like how we would say, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It's the story begins. We may expect it to snow because, we saw the weather report. These clouds are coming. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. So this is the story. For let this disposition be in you, which is in Christ Jesus also. Let it be in Christ Jesus and let it be in you. Also is a wonderful word in verse 5. Who, being inherently in the form of God, deems it not pillaging to be equal with God. Let it be. Let it be so. Nevertheless, empties himself, taking the form of a slave, coming to be in the likeness of humanity. Let it snow. And being found in fashion as a human, let it snow. He humbles himself, becoming obedient unto death. Let it continue. Even the death of the cross. Wherefore also, two conjunctive little phrases tying it together. Double your pleasure, double your fun. Wherefore also, God highly exalts him. This is the grand and glorious verse in this paragraph. God highly exalts him and graces him with the name that is above every name. Now, in the free will mindset, everybody is so important because they let God save them. So just you can't help it. It would be fertilizer for arrogance and pride. They let God save them. They have a name. God has to respect them and their free will.
So that's what you're doing in the first part of Philippians, for let this disposition be in you.
Oh
You're
man.
saying
It's going to happen. It's
Right.
going to happen because of other reasons outside of your control or hindrance or help. It's going to happen. Let it snow.
Seems like he's exhorting you to let it happen, but you're saying you can't really do anything about it anyway. It's just a figure of speech.
It's going to happen. Yes, the word let is a wonderful word. What do you get it when you say let it snow, let it snow, let it snow? That would be a figure of speech. You can't help it snow. You can't stop it from snowing, but you can observe the reasons why that it's going to snow and rejoice in the matter.
Ace. Ace.
Snow is going to be outside of you.
Wait a second. Ace, would you say that this is just, I mean, to us brothers, this is just a quick little glance at the relative versus the absolute, and we keep going and keep reading? It's a simple little thing.
It's the same with the word should. In grammar, it's called a subjunctive mood. It's revealing what is going to happen because other things happened prior, which is moving us along in the telling of the story.
Well, it could say, for this disposition will be in you, but it says, let this disposition be in you. It seems to.
It should snow on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, but talking about snow versus something.
But there's no moral obligation on the clouds to drop the snow. It should snow on Wednesday because of this and this and this and this and this.
So comparing this idea to an event like snowing is going to be the issue.
No, the issue is your little brain can't understand grammar. Let it snow.
I do understand grammar. I disagree with you.
Let this disposition be in you doesn't mean that you have any control over it necessarily.
Oh, so you're not sure?
The context of each individual conversation would determine the grammar that you use and the ideas that you're trying to get across. Let this disposition be in you. If you feel like it's your free will, do it, God damn it. But if it happens to you that it came to you against your will, because what is the whole subject here? It's the emptying of Christ. He empties himself. And what would bring you to a point of emptying? Oh my God, it's a broken leg that you got in a car wreck because you were T-boned, because the stoplight didn't work. You had no fucking free will about it. You were humbled. Let this disposition be in you, which humbles you. And you realize, it's a powerful word. You realize that you are in very little control of what's going on. And now you got scars on your face. You were handsome, but you went through the windshield and now your face is scarred. You are brought to the end of yourself.
Let him finish.
Control. I know he's going on and on. Talk about the little.
I'm going on and on because you're an asshole, a self-righteous asshole coming over here saying that, there's nothing to see here. Move along. You better clean up your resume and get your shit together because there's hell to pay.
This is easy. This is simple. You're making arguments and throwing out your ability to do so. Okay, this is just playground stuff.
No one was arguing with anyone. You showed up here, man. No one was arguing.
He's making an argument about Philippians 2:5-11. Try to follow.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He's saying it means this, and other people think it means other than that. That's an argument. He's making a case. Are you unaware of it?
It's your job, Karen, to run around to all the podcasts.
This is easy.
Out which way and which way he. Come on, dude.
This is very easy.
This is for the glory of God the Father.
you got a situation here where people are throwing out their ability to choose, the ability to have responsibility, their ability to make arguments, and they want to argue all day. This is simple.
We weren't arguing till you showed up. Thanks for bringing the
You
argument.
argue every day with somebody.
So, what disposition do you present today?
If I'm going to
One
be a
in which
universalist,
you
I'm
will
going to
not
present the
bow?
one that I'm being
Do you
forced to.
have a disposition that does not humble yourself? You are going to stand there on your own 2 feet and make a
All you have to
wonderful
do is
argument.
point out how somebody's doing something wrong, and then we just go around and say, look, the man is pointing out how someone's doing something wrong while saying they can't do anything wrong. That's all you have to do
JG,
every
man,
time.
don't you
You not
remember?
understand that, Cade? Have you not grasped that yet? Are you
You've
not
been
there yet?
shown grace, man. You've been catered to. Even now in this incident, it's only when you persist to be rude. It's rude.
This is so simple.
When you're given a reason and you're presented with, hey, this is why I believe, not believe, this is why it's this way, and you have nothing to say about it, and
I'm
you
saying
move and
things
you
about
create
it. You're not listening.
diversion.
You're not able to
You
understand
talk
what I'm saying.
over people. Like you're
He asked
having
me when I
fun
came
stirring
in
a
here
pot.
to answer his
You were
question about
given
what the
all the
universe.
answers.
Listen to
Excuse
me.
me,
Move
Cade.
along, man.
Cade,
Cade,
stop
Cade,
talking
Cade.
for a second, dude. When I came in here, he asked me to answer a question about what everyone in the universe is thinking.
All right.
And he said, okay, I'll answer that myself. He didn't answer that. He just
Then let's get to the larger point here and pretend like we're.
he wanted me to answer a question.
Let's get to the
He
larger
doesn't
point.
even know
of
how to
verse
answer
9.
the question either. So that's all we've done here.
Verse 9. Is it true that he gets a name above every name?
Did you answer the question about what everyone in the universe is thinking, or are you going to just skip over that now?
Okay, I will answer since you did not.
I didn't. And then you said you were going to, and you still haven't.
When everyone bows, it will be to the glory of God the Father. That's the answer. It won't be because they have a free will.
That's the outcome. That doesn't mean you know what everyone's thinking.
They are thinking to the glory of God the Father.
Yeah.
Their hearts will match their lips. Jesus said, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And when every tongue confesses and acclaims that Jesus is Lord, those people will be changed and their hearts will match the day. Their hearts will match the moment. There will not be any animosity toward God on the part of his creatures. No, the whole purpose of this executive summary is verse 9. God highly exalts him and graces him with a name that is above every name. If you and your free will pals are right that we determine our own destiny, then we get a name above God's name and above Christ's name. Our name is much more important than his name because we determined our own eternity with our own free will.
That's nonsense.
You're right. It is nonsense.
Your framing
God
is
highly exalts him because of his death on the cross and graces him with a name above every name because of his death on the cross to the glory of God the Father.
Ace, it's pretty simple. You point out that you try to point out someone's doing something wrong, and when they challenge you because they know your philosophy.
It's okay if someone does something wrong. We are all growing. We're not born with automatic, beautiful insights. We don't even know half the stuff we need to know before we're age 20. It takes a long time to grow in these matters. And
you hold a philosophy where everyone's doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and then you keep
yesterday and the day before when we went over the Song of Solomon.
Yeah, you're doing Solomon now.
Even in the Song of Solomon, there was growth in the woman. At the beginning of the story, the play of the Song of Solomon, she says, "My beloved is mine, and I am his." But then toward the middle of it, she grows. She says, "I am my beloved's." And then at the end of the Song of Solomon, she grows even more and says, "I am my beloved's, and his desire is toward me." Nobody gets it all at first. And that's why it takes God's Aeonian purpose to accomplish the complete efficacy of his death on the cross. There are
Because
so many who don't know yet, but still they will be knowing, all in good time. The death of the cross gets us all. We will all be brought to the end of ourselves. We will all experience our own individual kenosis. That's the fancy word here in verse 7. Christ empties himself, a grand kenosis, taking the form of a slave, coming to be in the likeness of humanity. There's a lot of work to do ahead. We're not all there yet, and God is not there yet with his grand Aeonian purpose. There's still a lot of work to do, but the majority of the work was done on the cross. Now it's just playing out before our eyes. And God highly exalts him and graces him with the name that is above every name, for the glory of God the Father.
you're going to be going through Proverbs and Ecclesiastes as well.
Just as soon as I'm done with Paul's letters.
So no, you're not going to.
Just as soon as I'm done with Paul's letters.
How long you been doing Paul's letters?
Many years.
40.
Mm-hmm.
How long you think it will take?
I think I might be halfway done.
Right. So you're not going to make it through. But why choose Songs of Solomon, the early years when he's romanticized, over Proverbs and Ecclesiastes?
Because of the grand and glorious figures of speech in the Song of Solomon.
Why not Proverbs and Ecclesiastes?
Because of the grand and glorious figures of speech in the Song of Solomon.
Okay, I heard you say that. Why leave out the middle years and the later years?
I had an immediate interest in the Song of Solomon. Could you read the call out here for us? I don't do Bible studies with heretics. All right, I'll read it. The word confess in Philippians 2:11, King James Version, is the Greek word exomologio. Acknowledge openly and joyfully. Oh my God. Really? To acknowledge openly and joyfully that Jesus is Lord.
It's not all it means, obviously. When you confess a crime, you don't confess it joyfully necessarily. It's not limited to just joyful confession.
You're bringing in a culture from 2025 in America and imposing your idea.
Okay, so every confession has to have joy in it according to your worldview. If it's not joyful, it's not a confession.
I don't even use the word confession. In the concordant version, it's a claim. Every tongue should be acclaiming that Jesus Christ is Lord. What do you got on acclaiming? I mean, if you want to look at a concordant listing of exomologio, fine, go do it. But if you're going to argue that confess, and if a guy confesses to a crime, there's no joy in that. No, that this would be acknowledging openly and joyfully some point of discussion. it's kind of like I was thinking about this yesterday, that in our modern 2025 Western culture of America, we use the word offer real frequently, offer, but we use it when it's coming from a sales language. Make an offer on a car. Let's see if you can qualify with your credit score and your deposit, your down payment. Yeah, let's see. Make an offer. And then the salesman makes an offer back. No, we can't take that deposit, but we'll take this deposit and we'll give you this interest rate. So we have this offer business in our mind with the capitalism that we experience. But in the scriptures, the word offer is an entirely different ball game. And in the scriptures, the lamb is offered to God, and Christ is offered to God, and everything is offered to God in the language of the scriptures. But it's only in modern English that we screw up the word and the concept by using it with our own preconceived idea of what offering is. It's a negotiation process. It didn't work. Christ was offered to God. Did God accept the offering? Yes. Did it change anything? Yes. There's no offering to save man. Man is saved by Christ's offering to God. There's no offer to man. Christ was not made available to us. No, Christ was made available to God. It's a wonderful, different idea going on in the scripture regarding the word offer. And it's understandable why people would get so much wrong about things, and why we would bring our preconceived ideas to the Bible. It takes a while to unlearn your ideas and relearn what is actually revealed in the scripture.
You saying I'm doing it the wrong way?
For the glory of God the Father.
Why can't you just tell a Christian they're doing something wrong? Why do you have to play games? Why can't you say you're doing something wrong and here's why? Because you've stifled your own philosophy by saying there's no right and wrong.
I have never said there's no right and wrong.
In the relative, you've relativized the issue. That's why you can't. It's why you
right
can't.
And wrong could be viewed in the relative and in the absolute. So what?
Yeah. So what?
I have never said there is no right and wrong. And you are, what would that be called? Your straw man? I would call it bullshit. You're just here to make an argument because you refuse to acknowledge that grammar is a thing.
What?
Even you talk in the relative sometimes and in the absolute at other times.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say is. If you can't say someone's doing something wrong, you can't argue with them. You're just making noise.
Have you ever done anything wrong?
Of course.
Well, sir. And then you learned a thing or two and you did it right.
Not always. Sometimes we still do it wrong because we want the benefit that we think we're receiving from doing it wrong. We take a risk when we lie and steal. There's a benefit at the other end of it. Sometimes we suffer, sometimes we don't. Sometimes the suffering may come later when we don't even detect it from all the years of lying and stealing. What I'm saying to you, though, is when you prepare a memo and make an argument against a Christian, you're ultimately pointing a finger. You're upset, bothered, confused, conflicted, saying there's something wrong there. When questioned about that, your philosophy doesn't allow to actually make that claim and say, well, in this relative sense, I'm saying I don't like it, but ultimately the Christian's doing exactly what they ought to do. So stupid.
Is it stupid or is it?
It's ridiculous and stupid. And it keeps, people bring it up to you in different ways over time. You've already heard this before. Like, what are you going to do? What can you do about that? Nothing. You would have to reassess your whole worldview to clear that up. You can't point at people and say, you know what, you ought to do this. You shouldn't do that. Oh, but by the way, you're doing exactly what you ought to be doing.
What's wrong with that? If you have an understanding of God's Aeonian purpose, that he doesn't do everything all at once, but he does do all things, and you have an understanding that all is out of him and through him and for him, what's the problem? I am not perfect yet, and God will bring me to the end of myself.
I just gave you the problem.
No, you did not.
Going into
you did not acknowledge that
Here's
God
the problem.
is the source of all. You hinted and inferred that God has nothing to do with it. You better clean up your own life story with your own ability. I want to talk about God and God's purpose and God's doings, and you seem to be lagging in the conversation. For the glory of God the Father.
You said nothing. I pointed out to you a fundamental problem, and all you said was, I want to do this, and you seem to be lagging. That's all you did. You did nothing.
The fundamental problem is your current understanding of
Okay, good. So there you go. You walked right into it. Now you're pointing the finger at me saying you're doing something wrong. Your understanding is wrong, and you have the same problem because you're saying, oh, JG's doing it exactly how he's supposed to.
Yes, you can be doing it both at the same time.
Yeah, I can be wrong in Ace's eyes, and I can be correct in God's eyes.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so what is your actual argument? That you feel like I'm doing something wrong, even though God's making me do it?
You are doing everything perfectly. I'm so happy that you came over here to be a dick.
That is your position.
Yes.
However, you decide to argue anyway. What you just said is your actual position.
That's
yet
right.
You want to argue and point the finger anyway.
I
You
would
can't
rather
resolve
not
your own
come over,
contradiction. You can't resolve your own contradiction, so you just keep ignoring it. You're stuck.
I'm stuck. Can God save me? Can and does God save the stuck?
You're stuck in your
Yeah.
position, and then you just keep trying to move forward, trying to contemplate
Mhm.
from this position that doesn't make sense.
Right.
You got to go to the error in the position and say, okay, how can I say the Christian is doing everything he's supposed to do while complaining about him every day? This you can't work out, but you just keep using it. Keep wanting to jump forward. You're stuck there. You can't have both of those.
So can God save the stuck?
It's not about this conversation I'm having with you is not about what God can do resolving your bad theory. This is for something for you to do. But because you said you can't do anything, you just keep going in a circle, waiting for God to release. I guess you're waiting for God to release you from this contradiction, which isn't actually a problem. Like, where are you? You know,
I am waiting on God. Is that a problem?
is your will waiting on God, or is God
Yes,
making
my
you
will
wait?
is waiting on
Okay,
God.
so now you have a will that gives you
I
the
have a will,
availability,
and it is
to wait on
waiting on God.
Okay, so now you're doing things with your will
Right.
that God isn't making you do.
Whatever.
What do you mean, whatever?
You are fanciful in how you assign.
Is God making you wait on him?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not doing anything in that scenario. You're just saying you're doing something, but you're not actually doing anything.
Is that a problem? Is that a
Well,
problem?
if you want to make sense, it's a problem. I'm just
Suppose I don't want to make sense.
then come to the Asteo channel and read the memo and take on universalism.
Suppose I want to wait on God and not necessarily make sense. I want to wait on God.
If you want to wait on God, your philosophy is saying God is making you wait on him, so you're not actually doing anything. So you can't work this out.
I wouldn't have much to brag on, right? If I'm not doing anything.
What are you doing? What is it that you think you're doing?
I think I'm waiting on God.
Okay, because God told you that you're waiting on him, and he told you to say that you think you're waiting on him.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. You got a better idea of what's going on?
JG.
Yo.
You seem very disturbed by what goes on over here for some reason, and I don't seem to understand why. Can you explain why you're so disturbed?
That Ace is telling me I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. And then he's pointing the finger at me every day saying you ought to do this and you shouldn't do that. Probably the simplest way I can put it for you. It's like a weird sort of gaslight, I guess. Like somebody can tell somebody like you're doing everything right. They're doing something within like some sort of room, some sort of testing, right? Saying you're doing everything right. And then every 5 minutes they have someone come in and like reprimand them and tell them to do something differently while telling them they're doing everything right at the same time. And they're like, well, I don't understand. I'm doing what I'm doing. And then you're saying I'm doing it right. And you come in every 5 minutes and say, no, you're doing it wrong. So it's almost like the man is trying to get you to remove your own volition or give up your will so that he can shape it by saying there's no will, you don't have any choice. And then once he gets you to believe that, he starts shaping your will slowly through implicit shoulds and oughts or straight explicit shoulds and oughts. That's how I see it. Did that make sense to you, Sean, or do you want me to say it a different way?
No. You just have the understanding that you have right now, but it's, I guess.
Can you steel man back what I just said to you, so I can see if it made sense to you?
So you have the understanding now, but it's not going to be forever. That's all I'm trying to say.
Can you sort of pitch back to me what I was just telling you about the problem, so I know that you received what I was saying? You see, this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. The man asks a question. I give him an answer for maybe 45, 60 seconds. He has no idea what I said when I ask him to.
I know. Isn't that beautiful?
I'm saying that's part of the problem over here is you have no capacity to listen for some reason. Like, why would you ask me something and then just not listen at all?
I listen to you,
Saying,
but it doesn't change. It doesn't. Okay, it doesn't change. It doesn't change anything. We understand you.
If you listen to me, tell me what I said.
I don't need to tell you what you said. You know exactly what you said.
You didn't listen. This is so stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
So you know that I didn't listen.
Tell me what I said.
Because I didn't demonstrate for you. So do I have to do a song and dance in order to get your fucking approval? I have to do a song and dance?
Sean.
That's crazy.
It's simple to request, hey, I know I just said something that might have been complicated. You didn't understand. Could you give me the gist of it? That's normal to say to somebody, especially if they ask you a question. The thing is you didn't listen to anything. You don't even know what we were talking about.
Do you want me to explain it to you, Sean?
Oh, here we go.
I think I can.
Yeah.
Would you like? Okay, so here's what's going on. So JG and I have two different frameworks through which we view the course of the universe. JG is kind of like a deist. He believes God set things in motion and then he took a vacation. He's not there to monitor things and control things. It's just out of control, basically. I believe that God created the universe, but God has not finished his grand work of creation yet. He's still in the creative mode, and that salvation is an extension of his creation business. Salvation and creation are the flip sides of the same coin, and the creation will not be finished and perfected until it is completely saved and changed into his glorious image. And at the moment, we are not there yet. But in JG's mindset, we have to do it because God is on vacation. We have to finish what God has begun and not finished, and it's all our responsibility. So JG has a tough time moving back and forth between his understanding of what is happening in the relative sense and what is happening in the absolute sense. And the relative would be the time sequence of events. And you know, we on this channel, we understand the biblical doctrine of the eons. But in the Christian universe, they don't have any idea what the biblical doctrine of the eons are because they take the time words and they really screw them up. Not only do they screw up the word aeon by translating it eternal in one verse and age in another verse and world in yet a third verse. Not only do they do that, but they screw up even the verb tenses. They don't understand that in the Greek of the first century, there was a verb tense that we just don't have. We have past, present, and future. We have past, present, and future, but the Greeks had a verb tense that was a timeless verb tense. And so it would be difficult for us to understand. And it's understandable why most Bible translations screw up the verb tenses.
You can't say people are screwing stuff up while saying they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do at the same time. They are
doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
Okay, well, then there's no problem and there's no argument.
God is the one who locks all together.
Okay, then your argument is with God. Okay, your argument is not with Christians, it's with God. That's it.
No, we are, as I understand the
program. You don't understand this. You're done. Your argument is with God. You're saying
God gives it to us. Do you want me to put you on mute?
You're done.
God gives it to us to preach the evangel of grace. We don't know who is called to believe the evangel of grace. We just preach the evangel of grace, and those who are called to enter in will enter in. And the evangel of grace has a lot to do with shedding the former understanding, which was wrong. And I was a Christian for many years, and thank God I was a Christian for many years. It brought me step by step closer to God. And then when I discovered that there are many things revealed in the scriptures that contradict evangelical fundamentalism, I fought it at first, but little by little, I believed God and I shed my belief in evangelical fundamentalism. And I can say
that's what I feel like I have been experiencing. So I don't know why it confuses JG, because it's
not confused. I mean, now you're telling me about what your feelings are. That's what you feel. I get that. What I'm pointing out is
Ace been my experience, JG. It's been my experience.
Cool, Sean. Ace is saying that Christians are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, and he's pointing the finger, complaining at the same time.
based on the knowledge that they have right now that they are shedding. That's all he's basically saying. It's an awareness that is being shed. It takes time, JG, to think a new thought. Do you get it? It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, and it doesn't mean Ace is saying you're doing something wrong. He's saying the belief and the bullshit that we've been fed in fundamental evangelical whatever the fuck it is. That's the fucking issue. It's not you. It's what we have been fed. Do you get it?
Is Ace right about that?
I think I am, but you know.
You are? Okay, good. You think Sean, do you think Ace is correct about that is true? Or do you think that's just his opinion or his preference right now in his time experience?
There are many verses.
The question was for Sean.
I know. I'll answer
Sean,
for Sean.
do you think that Ace is correct or right?
Because Sean is my puppet. I speak through Sean. So,
or do you think that's just his opinion and preference in the current time he's in?
You love to be the center of attention. Okay, so there are many Bible verses that evangelical fundamentalists do not like. Like 1 Corinthians 1:21, it says, in the wisdom of God, the world does not know God.